We are live. Welcome, welcome. This is a very special edition of Loser Leaves Wrestling. Loser Leaves Wrestling. This is the Weekly Wrestle. The Weekly Wrestle, episode 9. Bubba, Ali, Gunther, and a whole bunch more. Welcome, welcome. Thank you all so much for joining me. My name is Red Jefferson, and I'm here with Roy Lazowitz. How are you doing today, Roy?
Hey man, I'm good. I'm excited. I'm excited to be doing this. I love it. I love the chair on the scene.
I'm on the scene. I'm here where the action is. San Diego Coronado Beach Library, right out front, right next to the road. I feel like I'm creating a scene. I feel like this is not abnormal in Los Angeles, but everyone here is just like, I went to the wealthiest neighborhood in town to do this because I knew it wouldn't get hassled.
Staying in the wealthiest neighborhood in town?
No. I'm staying in a different area. But I went to Coronado Beach because I knew that no one would hassle me if I just take up a bunch of space.
Yeah, that's true.
No one would hassle me. Welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us. I am here on location in beautiful San Diego. I am next to the street. If y'all want a quick peek of what that looks like, it's the street. There's a beautiful gazebo over there. You see that?
Oh yeah, you could have done it in the gazebo. People probably bother you in the gazebo.
I think the signal is a little rough, and there's definitely much more foot traffic. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to talk a lot about wrestling. We're going to talk a lot about the news. We're going to talk about the news. We're going to talk about Rampage. We're going to talk about, we have some fun segments of what would you book and what are you watching?
What are you watching?
But what should we start off with today? Where should we talk about Rampage?
Let's talk about Rampage. Did you get a chance to? I know you're on the scene. Did you get a chance to watch Rampage?
I skimmed through it a little bit. I definitely caught some things. I had to catch Moxley's return match. I had to catch it, and Moxley looks great. Looks absolutely great.
Incredible.
I will. So it's Moxley versus Ethan Page. I will say that Moxley, even though he looks great, I kind of like the pudge.
Okay.
I like the pudge, and I like the just stressed out dad gimmick. I kind of liked it, but I do realize that was also a symptom of something else. So I'm happy that he's doing better. He looks great.
Looks great,
and he has a new jacket.
It's a good jacket. You know what's funny is I was trying to explain this to someone that like unhealthy, pudgy, like stressed out Moxley was also like. He took his like daughter's jean vest and it was so little and small on him. He was like, I'm gonna burst out of this thing. And now he's like healthy and he's got a brand new jacket and he just like feels good. He looks good.
He looks good. I will say this match though, one of what I'm a little upset with.
Yeah.
I was hoping it wouldn't be a back and forth.
Okay.
I was hoping that this was going to be Moxley. Remember those last few matches that Moxley had where he just like demolished people?
Yeah.
He ran in the ring and just like smashed them up and like did his quick, fast brawling thing. This was much more of like, oh, I'm trying to remember how to wrestle again. This felt like, oh, you came back from 7 years and you had your first match again type match, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And you were just gone in October. You should feel like fire. You should have like you're in the best shape of your life. You should be like, crushing heads. And I don't like that Ethan, even though it was a good match though. I did like the match. You like the match?
Yeah, it was a good opponent for him from this is like a match. I agree with you. Like I wish that he had kind of like done more of a squash, but I feel like this is like a match where Moxley's like, hey, I need to wrestle somebody. And like, I've been in the ring in a while. I need to like get some work in. So they put him in the Ethan Page. Like this match should have happened off television. They should have just like had a match and then he goes on TV and squashes someone else.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm trying to think of who he could have squashed. But I just wanted maybe not a squash, but someone that got blindsided. Someone that got like they were not expecting this much fire to come out of this person, you know? And like I would have loved that just to like kind of be like, oh, he's back.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for. But he does get the win here. He gets the win, of course, thank God.
Yeah.
If he didn't. But one I did notice that like Mox really knows how to make others look good.
Oh,
he made Ethan Page look like $1 million, and it wasn't like forced. Like that one move where he got kicked and he kind of just flew out of the ring. Like when he's this light, he's very spry and very mobile.
Yeah, and that's the thing about AEW as a whole that I really appreciate most of the time. Like 95% of the time, even in matches where you know who the winner is going to be, they always make the opponent look good. But like sometimes it's not necessarily necessary. Like Frankie Kazarian versus Lance Archer should have been a squash. But in this situation, you built up Ethan Page a little bit, even though we all knew what the outcome was going to be.
Yeah, 100%. So we by the way, if you're watching right now, give us a honk. Let us know how you're doing. Tell us what you're doing. Just smash the like button on location.
Yeah, Red's on location. And if you happen to be in San Diego, go down to the Coronado Beach Library.
Actually, yeah, come on by. Honestly, that would be pretty great. But we have to keep moving on. There's that other match, Young Bucks versus.
Wait. Did you not see the post match with Moxley?
No.
Oh, it's the best part of the show.
Give it to me, dog.
Moxley celebrates, he's like, oh, I'm the man now. I'm the champ, And then he walks out through the crowd. He's going back to the crowd. And as he's about to go backstage, someone meets him right before he's going to go through. Bryan Danielson meets him, setting up the eventual Moxley Bryan Danielson, which was supposed to happen. Yeah. It's going to be great.
Good. Really that's pretty good. That's a great job. And that's a great next feud for them.
Yeah.
Who wins?
Yeah. Great question. Really
who wins?
Really
How do you continue with that? Because they don't do this is one of those things I'm like, yeah, do the 50-50 booking. They both need a win here.
Yeah.
Because Danielson has only had one loss. So I guess Danielson could take the loss here.
Yeah.
Because Mox kind of needs it more, right?
I think what might happen, and this is, crackpot theory, but I think we get this feud, Moxley wins, and it leads to Moxley Paige at Double or Nothing in May. That's what I think.
Honestly, Moxley needs his championship. After that promo he gave this past week, I remember when he was giving that promo, I'm just like, this is the kind of the champion that I want right now. Like Hangman, I feel like came a little late. He shouldn't, honestly, after that missed opportunity where God bless him for taking care of his family, but just when he came back, it wasn't the right time. And honestly, this title reign has not felt great to me. And I like Hangman. I want him to be successful, but man, does Mox has so much more fire under him right now.
Sure. And I think there's a couple of things. I think it's not Paige's fault, but man, if Paige had just won that title at All Out when Danielson and Punk had his first match and Cole debuted, it all would have happened at the same time, and it would have kind of felt like it was all on the same level. But by the time the title changed hands, it felt muddy. There was just so much happening that Paige is the championship in general is feeling a little more lost in the shuffle, just a little bit. But I also think, do you remember so Bret Hart wins his first WWF title against Ric Flair, but he wins it in Saskatchewan on a Superstars or something. He didn't have that big moment.
It was because of Ric Flair's vertigo.
Yeah. Yes. So all felt very kind of weird, and he never really got his feet under him as champion. But that second title run, he won it at WrestleMania, and it was a big deal. I agree.
Hey,
you mentioned this last week.
I said this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I was just
his second title reign is going to be better because this first one's not working. The first title reign is never the best title reign, and that's always been the case. I really do feel that's always been the case.
That's a fun topic to do some research on for the future.
Actually, that is interesting. One thing I would have been cool, just rebooking it. Imagine he won it at All Out, right? He won it at All Out, and then that night he's just like, I can't keep this. I'm having a baby, and I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then he kind of gives it up, and then everyone in the locker room's pissed because you give up the championship.
Yeah.
We want the championship. We'll do anything. We'll sacrifice everything. They have a tournament. They decide who the interim champion, and they're gonna face Paige when he comes back. But there's almost this thing you understand and you feel for Paige because that's his kid. He wants to have his kid, but also just you gave it up.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
That would have been a more intriguing story.
You bring up a really excellent point too about between Moxley, dealing with, addiction and things like that. And then Hangman opting to choose his family over wrestling. And then Kingston also choosing, being so open about his own mental health and struggles, etc. I've been seeing a lot of things on the internet this week about how these characters are redefining masculinity for the wrestling fan.
Oh, I like that.
And I think it's a really important, people aren't factoring in Hangman into this as well, but they really should be, because he is a wrestler that there's so many stories about
and
wrestlers.
his whole gimmick. And
Absolutely.
Honestly, what I find funny about his gimmick, his storyline the past 2 years is basically Moxley's the past 2 months.
Yeah.
You know, like Moxley's the real deal and it feels real. And like, I think we should embrace like that kind of positive change that he's made.
100%.
But we have to keep moving. And we got Chica Marks in the chat. I missed Rampage because I went to a live show, but we'll watch today. Did you see Buster Poindexter? What's his name? I forget the guy's name.
Poindexter.
The lunatic Poindexter. He said she made.
I think I saw. Yeah, I think I saw this.
Figures. She made a Jervis Cottonbelly, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. It's just such a cool figure. And she also made for the other pro wrestling character, something Poindexter, something like that. I forget his name.
I saw this on Instagram.
But everyone follow Chica Marks on Instagram to see those delightful pictures. And now we have to talk about the Young Bucks, and I don't really want to because I skipped over.
It was a fine match. I'm glad Trent won. That's all. I'm just glad Trent won. Yeah.
Woo! Trent won. Excellent job, Trent. And then we get a Hook versus Serpentico.
Oh man.
And awesome. Hook, Serpentico does the streamer gimmick. Hook hates it. Hook just storms them, beats the shit. The streamers are all over them the entire time. And Hook just throws them around for a little bit and then finishes them up with a standing red rope. Holds them in the air. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not saying that Serpentico is like a heavy guy. He's maybe like, $180, something like that.
Yeah, probably.
But
he's a small
holding
guy.
Him. But he's holding them there. And he's like, Hook is not bigger than Serpentico.
No.
And that's pretty strong. That's pretty fucking strong.
Really strong.
Pretty good stuff. And then afterwards, Hook's running. This is the best part. This is really the best part. Hook's walking up the ramp and QT's talking shit. And then Hook just walks past him. Doesn't even notice him. QT grabs his arm. He spins him around. Hook just suplexes him, gets up, and immediately walks over him. Awesome stuff. Yeah. Great job, Hook.
Yeah,
we're all
excellent
job,
this,
right?
Absolutely. I think my original feeling. I had a dumb joke. I was gonna make a graphic. It was gonna be a really dumb joke. Do you remember the show? It was a game show on Comedy Central called Beat the Geeks. Do you remember this?
Yeah, vaguely. I didn't have cable growing up.
Sure. I mean, it was like a show with there were these geeks and they were like experts on music, TV, the movies, and then they would have a normal person and it would be like a quiz show to see if you could beat the geeks. I was going to find a picture of Hook and put his face over the host of Beat the Geeks because all he's doing right now is beating the geeks. He's just beating all the geeks.
He's beating the geeks.
He's going to soon, and it's building towards what it looks like to me is a feud with the king of the geeks, QT Marshall.
Yeah, he is the king of the geeks. And then, that's a great first feud. That's exactly the first 100%. Feud that you should be having. A great job there. And that's a great use for QT.
It is.
We have some comments. Chica Mark it's Buster. Haha, the punk rock Poindexter. That's what his name is. Punk rock Poindexter. Darwin Finch, the punk rock Poindexter. Last week was Gentleman Jervis Cottonbelly, the sweetest man in the world. Great figures.
Is that Jervis Cottonbelly's moniker? Is he known as the sweetest man in the world? That's so nice.
It's he actually I met him afterwards. Chica Marks is friends with him, and I met him afterwards, and he's a delight.
Yeah,
that's
so
fantastic.
Handsome. Yeah, that's the thing. I saw him take his mask off and I was like, this guy's beautiful.
He's a gorgeous guy.
Stunning.
He looks fake. All right, we got to move on. We got the last match of the night here. Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay for the TBS championship on TNT. And we have this match. And honestly, Jade is a star. I really like Jade. Anna Jay, she's giving me Michelle Cool vibes. Knows all the things.
Yeah.
Not much personality or even aggression behind them. It feels like she's just doing the thing because that was the thing that she was thinking about, Yeah. There doesn't seem to be much I'm in a match thought, I'm trying to fight for my life thought. It's kind of next thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she's dating Jungle Boy. Mm-hmm. And it's a shame because she doesn't have much of a personality in her team. He's not helping her.
They're not helping each other out.
Yeah, right. But there's a couple of things that I noticed is that Jade is starting to kind of loosen up a little bit more, both in her mannerisms and how she talks and her promos. She's no longer feeling rigid in what she's saying. She's starting to kind of just loosen up and express a little bit more and emote a little bit more and kind of improvise a little bit. And in the ring, she's starting to get looser and move around. And that's really exciting to see.
She's definitely more animated. definitely more animated. She's definitely like it's the little things that she's doing when she throws. She like, even though she's not actually throwing, she looks like she's launching.
Right.
She's using her whole body with her kicks. She's winding up everything.
Yeah.
And it makes everything look better. Even though, like, I don't think she's taking people's heads off all the time, but it looks like she's taking people's heads off every time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, too, two things also. Yes, it feels like she's like becoming the character. Like, she's not kicking because this is how the character kicks. She's doing it because she's like, this is how Jade kicks. This is how I kick.
Yeah.
Anna Jay is still very much like, my character is supposed to do this way right now. So I'm going to do it this way. So it's hard to believe. Yeah. But the big thing about this match, which I actually thought was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good match. It had good heat. People like Jade Cargill. The crowd likes Jade. Yeah. This was the first ever women's match in AEW history, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the first ever AEW women's match to main event a show that doesn't have Britt Baker in it. Small victories.
Is it?
Yeah, I think Britt Baker has been in the main event.
I thought the main event of that the death match, the tag team death match was
that wasn't the main event. That wasn't the last show. That wasn't the last match on the show. No, I know. I'm just as surprised as you were. That was the middle match on the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gross. They had to wrestle in all that blood afterwards.
Yeah, and like I feel bad because like that match had barbed wire and tacks and blood and like, but then like I forgot who main evented. Cody main evented that show against Ethan Page.
Interesting. Well, that's the end of the Rampage. I enjoyed the show. Good show.
Good show.
From what I saw, I have to rewatch the Jade Cargill match because she did win with the Glam Slam. That's one thing I'll say. Don't like the Glam Slam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm liking it less and less. It's an impressive. It never is as impressive as you think it's going to be. Yeah. You know, the thing is like it never lands the right way. And also it requires the other person taking it to take it kind of perfectly each time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, they have to be. And so most people put their knees down naturally, but it makes the move look like garbage when you do.
Yep.
But we got to move on. Are we going to the news next?
We're going to the news.
All right. We got some news. We got some news. This is the news you can't lose. By the way, this is the Weekly Wrestle. Smash the like button. Thank you. I see some smashes right now. Keep those smashes coming. And I'm not just talking about you live people. I'm talking about you people watching in perpetuity. You're watching afterwards. Smash it. Let us know. Let us know what you feel. This is the news from January 16th to January 22nd. I don't have a picture for this one. Don't put up the first picture there, Tam, because I wanted to. What is this?
Oh, that's my Rampage. That's my Rampage review.
Oh, awesome. So there's just talk about Leo Rush. There's no picture for this one, Tam, because I forgot to put it in. But Leo Rush, I was right. I was right. TK fired him because
he did not fire him.
He spoke his mind, and that's a no-go. That's a no-go at AEW. You cannot speak your mind that thoroughly. So TK fired him for backing up Swole after TK was being a monster.
None of this is true. None of this.
He's now a free agent. He's gone from the company, right?
As of the 14th of February. And he should have one more match against Dante before he leaves. He should really fight Dante.
But there are a few other people that have their contracts coming up. We have who else is Brian Cage. Brian Cage, which thank God, am I right? Yeah. Brian Cage, Joey Janela. Joey Janela, one of the AEW originals. Do you see Brian Cage sticking around?
No, Brian Cage has already gone. He's already gone.
He's gone. He hasn't been on since October, and they didn't like him then. But Joey Janela, are they keeping Joey Janela?
You know, I've heard rumors that they're going to. They're going to hold on to Joey Janela. I'm curious to know why. And I've also read in interviews. I mean, of course he's going to say this, but like he has also stated that he wants to stick around too and help bridge the gap between GCW and AEW and help that working relationship blossom even more than it already is.
They don't need him to do that. I love the idea that Joey Janela is this power broker. No, he's fine. But can Joey Janela talk? That's something that I've always.
He's a pretty good talker. He's okay.
I have to figure that out because, like, I would love to see him in a because he has definitely a lot of personality, and he would be great for a mini faction. You know, the leader of a mini faction of just kind of like misfits. Like, there's no misfits team, you know, and I would love that. Well, there is the Wingmen. But
Peter Avalon's no longer in the company.
Peter Avalon's another one. Well, he hasn't. That's not official yet.
Is that not official?
His contract is coming up as well. I think it's all in February, the 14th. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes. Let's go to that first picture of the news, Tim. The big story of the week, I think we could all agree, is Jon Moxley's return.
Yeah.
Jon Moxley's return. Jon Moxley has come back from his stint with alcohol rehabilitation program. His last match was in October? He took a few months off, and now he's back looking better than ever, looking svelte, looking trim, looking
10 years younger.
More hair on his head than I've ever seen. And he's looking good. We're very happy for him. The possible, I wrote this before yesterday. I was thinking that Ethan Page match was going to be a longer program, but obviously they're going with Danielson. This past Dynamite had the best audience since October, since their second anniversary special. And so AEW is starting to look really good right now. By the way, thank you all so much for watching. Smash the like button and stick around. Ask questions. Let us know what you're thinking.
Yeah,
I'm on location. I am on location. Ask me. If you're in St. Coronado, let me know. But yes, best. So TNT is, Dynamite's doing pretty good. Dynamite's on TBS is doing good, and it's not going to be preempted, which is exciting.
Oh, so exciting. That's great. That's the best thing about them going to TBS is that outside of the month of October, they're never going to be preempted ever again. And that's great. And it's funny too, because there are some wrestling insiders, i.e. Dave Meltzer, who believes that the Big Bang Theory is this like amazing lead in too. I don't know if I believe that.
I think it is. I was actually going to tweet this. I was going to be like, I'm so glad I'm watching Big Bang Theory instead of the 30th time of seeing The Accountant, the last 10 minutes of The Accountant with Ben Affleck. Right. Yeah. I think this is a great lead in because it's neutral. It's filler. You could put it on and forget about it. Jumping in to the last 15 minutes of a thriller is a terrible lead-in.
I've seen that actress rip open that painting 10,000 times.
You're right. I think this is great because one of what you're going to see something new each time you put on Big Bang Theory, no matter because they have so many content.
Episodes.
And even if you don't like it, which is understandable, it's understandable. Getting a lot of looks right now. I'm screaming about Big Bang Theory. People are just like, what is this kid talking about? But instead of talking about wrestling. But yeah, I think it's a great lead-in. That's a good point. But we're still on Jon Moxley, though. Some people didn't like his return too much. We're talking about our good old friend. No longer friend of the show, Bully Ray. Yeah. Bully Ray thinks that Moxley should have apologized for his demons and that he let the fans down. And some people didn't like that too much. Mainly his wife, Renee, who's also a friend of the Busted Open Radio family.
She's been on the same XM station as Busted Open. Wow. She has like a show on there or something.
Is that Oral Sessions?
No, it's a different show that she does with like a female MMA fighter, maybe.
She's prolific. She really is. I've been told that we're prolific. So what does that mean anymore? We got comments from Moet Jaswal. Moet Q Jaswal is in the chat. Peter Avalon, still part of AEW for now. Leva Bates cleared it up. He's just adding indie dates. Yes.
Peter Avalon, so valuable.
Lord Moet.
People don't realize.
Sound out for Lord Moet in the chat. Lord Moet Jaswal, Uncle Moet.
Uncle Moet.
Push him. You got to push him to be on, and get him on there. And then also Paige said, no wonder funny. Everyone loves Devon more.
You know what else she said? She also sent another tweet that's like, "Hey guys, just so you know, if you need to take time away from wrestling to better yourself and fix an issue that's really serious, you got to clear it with Bubba first."
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Screw him. John Buseman writes, Team Moet. John Buseman's in the chat. Team Moet. Everyone wear your Team Moet t-shirts that we all made that one time. I did at least.
Yeah.
I wear it every day.
I've got one. I just don't wear it.
We got to wear our Team Moet t-shirts.
We do.
And we got to get him on the show. Everyone pressure Moet into getting on the show.
Wait, hey, we'll start a new
petition.
Yeah, a new petition. Yeah.
Start a petition. Speaking of petitions, sign the one Red Jefferson on BattleBots. We need to get Red Jefferson on BattleBots. I didn't make it. Has been thrust upon me. We got to move on to the next one, right? Any other thoughts?
You know, it's funny. My parents like XM radio. So they have it, and I have their login credentials. So every Thursday I try to listen to Busted Open because I like to hear their thoughts on the show, etc. I like to hear people's thoughts. And I heard that live. I heard when Bubba Ray said that, and I turned it off because I was like, I'm good. That's it. I'm done.
It's a rough way to start a morning.
Because I feel like he's like Cornette. Like they're old school wrestling in that way, except Bully Ray, because he has a boss and he's on national radio, can't call people like Jelly Roll and say racist things.
No, but Cornette would have been like that. Cornette would have said something along the lines of like, why is he apologizing? He's John fucking Moxley. He's a lunatic. He doesn't want to apologize.
He thanked everybody. That's all he needed to do is thank them and move on.
I think he did a great job because not only was it appropriate, it cleared the air, but also, even though it shouldn't be his goal, it stayed in character. You know, he's just like, 100%. I want blood. That's what I'm drinking now. Yeah. Like, I love that. Great job, John Moxley. Great way to come back. Come on, Bully. Come on, Bully.
Yeah.
The next tab there, Tam. Thank you so much. Cody Rhodes, apparently not under contract. Apparently, Cody Rhodes is a free agent. He's currently a free agent, which is weird because he's an EVP. And that there's 2 contracts, I believe, for him. He is the talent contract and the EVP contract, and he's under neither right now. And he's scheduled to have a ladder match for the championship with Sammy Guevara. What do we think about this?
I think is this all a part of it? Yes, it is. Play? I'm convinced. I think he's legit.
His sweet little smile there,
son of a
licking
bitch.
his teeth.
I think he really doesn't have a contract, but I also think he's like, this is part of it. I'm going to make this part of everything.
No, 100%.
He's doing something that we don't understand right now.
Yeah. He's really doing something special, and we have to really, honestly, I'm very excited for everything he's doing.
Yeah, there's going to be books written
I'm
about
singing
this.
Because you know what the thing is, like a few months ago, I was so suckered into it. I'm just like, fuck this guy.
Yeah,
he doesn't get it. With the Malachi Black thing, I'm just like, this is amazing to watch because this man is crashing and burning. No, not at all. Not at all.
Crazy.
Okay, we're moving on to the next tab there, Tam. Eddie Kingston is out with an injury. We're talking AEW first today. Usually we talk WWE because they usually have some scary things happening, but we got Eddie Kingston out with an injury, and undisclosed right now. What is the picture that I put it? I don't even know. But it's undisclosed right now. But he gave an interview recently where he's talking about how he wants to be in better shape because he wants a heavyweight championship run. So he's been training. He's quit cigarettes. He's trying to eat healthier. First off, where do you see Eddie Kingston? Do you see him being a champion?
He could be a champion. He absolutely could be a champion.
That's not a funny picture. I thought that was a cool picture.
I was laughing. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the most recent comment.
Oh, Timo it?
No.
Oh no. Okay, so whoever UG Scrib Fibijafij put in a link. Don't click it. Don't click it. I don't know what vum.ong is, but be scared. Be scared. Do not click that link. We have to be careful sometimes here at Loserly's Wrestling.
You got to be careful.
The Weekly Wrestle is fraught with peril.
Look, do I think it would be a long title run? No. But do I think it would be like a really interesting he's the type of guy who you pay for the chase, you pay for the big win, and then you're just happy that he won it and he'll drop the belt 3 or 4 months later.
Yeah.
But I could see him talking. He's already talked his way into the main event.
Honestly, what I would love is him to be a surprise main event. Love your t-shirt, by the way. Yeah. It's the last podcast on the left t-shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm they're big fans of the show. But where was I? Eddie Kingston, I see him being a surprise champion. A surprise champion would be pretty cool. Like if there's like ever a elimination chamber style match or a battle royale style match for the championship and he gets that win, I think that would be a cool. I don't want him to win in the traditional way. I don't want him to win like, oh, I'm fighting to get my thing. I want him to get it through circumstance because he found a way in, you know, he's got grit. I don't want him to beat the odds because honestly, I don't think that's his character.
Yeah. Can I make a comparison that I don't know if you're going to like?
Roddy Piper?
No. Mick Foley. I think he should Foley overcame all of the odds to become a champion. I think he should be the champion in that way.
I'm fine with how Foley won it because honestly, I don't think he should have won it that traditional way. I think the help made it even better. The help with Stone Cold is just because, like, he shouldn't win the champion. He's the opposite of what a champion should be. No way should he win. And like, even like people, like the help he got made it more fun. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
It's incredible to think about that too. We're going to get into that a little later in the show. Mick Foley and Mick Foley's title reigns. Exciting. We're going to talk about it later. But it's amazing to think that the same company, the same exact person, the same exact company that booked Mick Foley as champion is also currently running the same company. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's
ridiculous. Very scary. But we do have a next tab there, Tam, because we got another injury. Not injury, but more taking time off. Hikaru Shida is taking time off, going to Japan. So she was destroyed by Deeb. Her knee destroyed. And that's the way to take someone out. If they're going to go on a little vacay, have Deeb destroy him. Let Deeb get that rub, and she's gone for a little while. She's going back to Japan. And I just wanted to kind of say, like, a congrats to Hikaru Shida for being the champion and one of the worst times of being a champion. And to be honest, one of the least cared about belts. It was probably pretty disheartening to be a champion that doesn't care about that championship, or at least last year it did. Last year, they definitely didn't care about the women's championship. And during COVID, when you weren't in front of crowds, it must have been a pretty deflated feeling. And so, like, I really, a big thanks to, that's a cool picture of Hikaru Shida too. That's her. That's what I think of her as, like a Street Fighter character. Like, really cool. What are your thoughts? What's your favorite? What are you excited for Hikaru Shida to do when she comes back?
I think she should finish this feud with Deeb and then maybe I think by the time she comes back and is done with Deeb, Britt Baker will have potentially lost the title to Thunder Rosa, and she's a perfect first challenger for Thunder Rosa. And I think, you bring up an excellent point, and I think you're completely right that, like, not only was she champion during the pandemic, not only was it a title that wasn't really thought of as highly as the other titles on the show, but also it was before they had really established Britt Baker as, like, a challenger. It was before Ruby Soho. It was before Jade Cargill. Her opponents were Penelope Ford, and she fought Nyla Rose 3 or 4 times. And, like, they had to bring in, other people from, like, they didn't have, like, not that they have a ton of depth right now.
We nodded at each other.
He gets it. He understands.
He gets it.
Yeah. So I think a lot of props.
A lot of props to Hikaru Shida. She really, honestly, held together that division when they were there was just not the love there yet.
It also had, like, early on in the pandemic, had great match. When she won the title, she had a great match with Nyla Rose. She had Penelope Ford had a great title defense with Penelope Ford. She had a good match against Thunder Rosa. Her match with Deeb got Deeb a contract with AEW. Like, she did so much for that division that we kind of forget about now. But yeah,
we're all very thankful to Hikaru Shida, and we wish her well, and we wish her to come back soon. But want to enjoy your time in Japan. Have fun. See the folks. Do the things. Do all the things.
Go to all your favorite restaurants.
TV. Yeah, just with some good TV. Have a little
good game shows.
And okay. Next up, we got next tab there, Tam. WWE calls out AEW for let me quote, gory self-mutilation match. So there's this Canadian article about a response to the viewership between AEW and WWE narrowing, and how the viewership in Canada is, like, it's kind of getting pretty close to neck and neck for their viewership. And they responded with basically talking down, and because why this is so important, because they talked about this women's match being gory self-mutilation. Canada, they are not big on censorship except for domestic violence. That is when that they take it very seriously, and they didn't air a lot of WWE matches in the early 2000s because of that was the hesitation with WWE and this type of stuff, is they didn't want to be banned in Canada. They didn't want the content to be edited for Canada, and so Warner Media, the people that own that are running TBS and TNT, they're just like, are you trying to fuck with our advertising right now?
Yeah.
Are you fucking with? And so there's some pissed off people here. What are your thoughts on this? Are you excited about this juicy drama?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to fuck with their ad revenue. The WWE is always trying to fuck with everyone. So I wouldn't be surprised about that. And also, I have to go back and look at this to find out if this is still true. But in Canada specifically, AEW beats the WWE on a weekly basis. AEW has gained a lot more momentum in Canada, or a lot more momentum. And also in this past week, the ratings were really good for Dynamite, specifically the 18 to 49 demographic, the demographic that's so desired specifically with advertisers, because now you're getting people who are 18 to 34 to 49 who are going to be buying shit for the next 40 or 50 years. AEW beat WWE in 18 to 49 this past week. So like, this isn't working. Nothing they've tried to do to stop AEW has worked, but it is like a thing where it's like, now you're kind of getting like the corporations involved. Like, don't fuck with Warner Media just because it's a giant corporation and they've got a lot of power.
I kind of get where, honestly, the thing is that we talked about this when it happened, but WWE, AEW, that match was gratuitous and not necessarily, like, I don't mind hyperviolence. I don't mind hyperviolence when it means something.
Yeah.
You have a hyperviolence for a random tag match. It was pretty, like, they had like 2 matches beforehand. It wasn't a blood feud. They weren't out for each other's necks. This wasn't over a big title or a big personal dispute. This was literally just a random Rampage main event. And I feel like that
it wasn't even the main event.
It wasn't even the main event. Like, so it, you know what I mean? Like, why?
I do know what you mean.
It was wasted. And I do feel like, honestly, it was excessive and it wasn't warranted.
I think, look, I agree with you and I disagree in the sense that like this feud had been going on for months and there were a lot of singles matches mixed with the tag matches and the brass knucks had been involved forever, but it's not, the issue isn't with, my issue at least isn't with the blood in the match. It was more with how AEW booked this. So there wasn't enough momentum going into it. So the whole audience recognized that, yes, this was a blood feud that had been going on. They staggered it for too long. There wasn't enough heat. So it did feel random. It shouldn't have felt random in that way. And the other thing that I kind of have beef with about that match specifically, like people were comparing it to the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker, bloody lights out match that they had.
Different.
But that match was a match. There was a story being told in that match, but in this match, it was just big spot, bloody spot, big spot, bloody spot.
Where's the barbed wire? Where's the tax?
Right,
all
exactly.
That stuff.
Exactly.
And it felt literally like, and to be honest, these aren't the most seasoned workers. Sure. They're not the most seasoned workers in the ring. So like it felt forced. Everything they did felt forced. So yeah, no, I'm glad we're on the same page there. John writes, cheap shot by hypocritical company. You scared, WWE? I definitely think they're scared. I definitely think they're scared. I think we all see it. Hence that. So yeah, Warner Media's pissed. We'll see how that goes. But speaking of WWE, we got something here. Could you hit that next slide, Tam? Walter, everyone's favorite Walter. He has a new name now. It's Gunther. It's Gunther. Hey, hey guys. Gunther. It was originally going to be Gunther Stark. Gunther Stark.
Yeah.
But criticism about them referencing a Nazi general that ran a U-boat and killed allies. For some reason, I think they like, wow, that slipped underneath our radar. That must have been an accident, right, Roy? That must have been just a random accident. They didn't realize Gunther Stark was a Nazi.
This company doesn't do any research about anything.
No, they knew.
Did they know? Did they actually know?
How do you not know that you have this German-looking man, this Austrian man, that's come to the company looking and acting the way he does, called the general, the ring general, and you give him a name called Gunther Stark about a general, a Nazi general. Like there's no way they didn't know. This is Baron von Bozo. Bovo. Do you remember that? Baron von Bovo?
No, what is Baron von Bovo?
Here's a quick Heidenreich. Heidenreich, when Heidenreich was first being debuted, a good friend of mine and friend of the show, Dan Madigan, wrote See No Evil for Kane, and then was a writer for SmackDown, and he helped write for Eddie Guerrero and JBL, and he pitched this idea for Heidenreich, and he's called Baron von Bovo, frozen Nazi soldier that's brought back to life, and he started goose stepping around the ring, around the meeting area. The meeting area when he's pitching it, he started goose stepping because he was an animated storyteller. He wanted to show Vince what it was. And this is the only time that Vince said nothing, grabbed his stuff, and walked out of the room.
Look,
friend of the show, Dan Madigan.
Here's the thing. A couple of things about this. I've listened to this and I've read about this. First of all, Walter, I don't like Walter anymore.
You don't like Walter?
I'll get into why. I think Walter's an excellent professional wrestler. Excellent. No doubt about it. I think all of Imperium, the two dudes that he runs with, Marcel Bartel and the other guy, all fantastic, really good wrestlers. However, Gunther Stark, according to some insiders over at the WWE, was Walter's idea. So I will excuse the WWE for not knowing who Gunther Stark is. This is what I've heard this from multiple like articles that I've read, that it was because what they always do is they say like, we're going to change your name. What do you want your name to be? Give us options. So Walter said, I want my name to be Gunther Stark. And there has been it's very light. It's very light. And I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that Walter or any other members of Imperium or whatever are Nazis or Nazi sympathizers. I'm not saying that.
They
However,
definitely don't mind that symbology, though.
They have used a lot of references to things in and around the Third Reich, both on Twitter and before they got to the WWE. I don't like it. Their group in WXW, the company based out of Europe,
they keep
Germany,
saying pure. They say the word pure wrestling in such a way to keep wrestling pure. And it's just, honestly, too much. Too close.
The name of their group, these three guys and a couple other guys, maybe before they were in the WWE, was Ring Kampf, which I'm sure Kampf means something else in German that isn't. Pain. Yeah, sure. But it's too close to Mein Kampf. It's too close.
Do you know what Mein Kampf is? My pain.
Yeah.
And that's what it was called. And so there was Ring Pain. Wow. Did not know that.
It's too close.
Chica Marks writes, yikes, gotta Google all name ideas, my man.
Seriously.
Yeah, right. So if that's WWE's mistake, okay, I'll give them a little break on that one. They didn't want Baron von Bovo. I don't know why they would want the so maybe they didn't know, but definitely Google. Honestly, but either way, so he's going by Gunther now. Terrible single name to go by. Like Walter is a good single name to go by.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have Gunther, there's other names. I don't know. They want to own these names, but there's some supporters and some naysayers. Bully Ray says hate it. Keith Lee writes, I don't know if this is true, but if it is, I'm sorry, Walter. Then people defending it. Finn Balor said a lot of people said Finn's suck too. Good point.
Yeah, Hurricane also defended it too.
Hurricane's like, they took my name, they took my finisher, they took my look, they took my ring attire, and I had to start all over. Yeah, because you were called Sugar Shane Helms. Yeah, that was an improvement, bro. You were using the vertebraker. Can you do that to anyone in the WWE?
That's also a really dangerous move in general.
Dangerous move that you couldn't do to anyone on the roster.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. John Buseman writes, even if it was Walter's idea, why wouldn't WWE do even a quick check before filing for a trademark? Because they're loser idiots. They're they heard Stark and they're just like, they probably checked with Marvel first.
Yeah, right.
And there's no Gunther Stark in there. We could use it. And that's all they looked at. Any other thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, they've abandoned the trademark. They're no longer going to trademark Gunther Stark for obvious reasons.
Just Gunther, though.
Just Gunther. Yeah, which is, it's already too late. I would just go back to Walter. Did you see him change his name? Did you see him do it?
There's a pup over there. Like, I am Gunther. Call me Gunther. It was just terrible. Just real dumb. Good match, though. Tony's been here. Boom. Hey, Tony. Boom. That's real. How did that sound? Does that sound nice?
That sounded cool.
Hey, Tony. Here's a boom for you.
It's also funny because the microphone's off camera. So you're like,
ooh. Hey, Tony, we're going in for a boot now. Oh, welcome, Tony. I don't know. We got to keep going. Tam, could you hit the next slide, please? Because we have to talk a little bit about now. NXT's really falling down the pooper.
Oh, I love it.
And I guess maybe part of that is Gunther's fault, maybe not, but it keeps falling. There's internal worry now Internally, they're just like, oh, things have not been going well since the revamp. They're spending a lot of money on this revamp, even though they are cutting costs in other ways. But did you hear what Scotty Tuhati had to say? Well, I'll tell you that in a second. Well, but what are your thoughts about the NXT falling first?
Oh, that's good. The Triple H
Isn't that good?
Yeah, I feel bad for Triple H, but also I don't at the same time.
That's him watching NXT right now.
I feel, look, Red, I admire you in a lot of ways because
smash the like button.
If you don't want to watch something, you don't watch it. But I try to force myself to watch NXT 2.0 sometimes. I do.
I do too. Oh, what are you talking about? I force myself to watch it.
And there's stuff that's like, again, Walter versus Roderick Strong is like, that's a legit match.
Yeah.
And I feel like the opening match of this past week's show was like, okay. And there's some stuff that's like, okay about it. But like, then they do this like weird thing with Sarai, who's like a very talented women's Japanese wrestler, where she's suddenly in a schoolgirl outfit and she's like going back home and she's like a little kid solving mysteries in a schoolgirl outfit.
Oh, she's like in pajamas.
And then the woman who's in pajamas, who's like,
that's sleeps. A different person.
That's a different person. Yeah.
There's two people acting like children.
Yes. And then there's like the woman who calls it like, she's always on the phone with her daddy. That's really weird. And then there's like the woke guy. Like there's so much bad shit that this makes a lot of sense to me. And the fact that, like, again, to go back to ratings real quick, like the 18 to 49 demo that we've been talking about, like they did the lowest 18 to 49 demo in the history of the WWE on the USA Network. Yes. All those 1993 going up against all those Monday Night Football games, all of that. This is the lowest ever. So you're doing this show real quick. You're doing this show where you've got like a young blonde woman always on the phone with her daddy. You've got like a woman, like a Japanese schoolgirl, for an audience that is largely men over the age of 50.
Yeah.
It's fucking
What are
weird.
You trying to cultivate? What are you trying to cultivate? Yeah. And those men over this, they hate men over the age of 50. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
You go to the next slide there, Tam. Scotty Tuhati recently said in an interview that one of the things he was asked to do, because they wanted everyone to look younger. They said they look too old. They asked them to dye their hair and beards to look younger. The trainers
coaches,
and the coaches, not on TV. They asked them to look younger. It's just a picture of Scotty Tuhati being told to dye his hair. Oh no, that's the wrong one. That's I sent the wrong one.
That's a good one.
That's what they want him to look like. That's what they want him to look like when he was a boy.
I recommend
Tony
if
writes,
you haven't. Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it.
No, Tony just right. NXT is not NXT without Gargano and Ciampa.
Sure.
I agree. Yeah. What are we saying?
If you get the chance, and not just you, but anybody, the Scotty Tuhati, where he said that is Chris Jericho's podcast, and it's a really good interview. Scotty Tuhati's great. I had no idea.
Tells me a little red cornet. I'm going to call you Y2 Hammer. You're big,
it's a good show. It's a good
Chris Jericho. How do you like that?
I never listen to anything that's not wrestling related.
Is your wife storming the Capitol? Thank you so much. Tony said probably why Ciampa dyed his beard. Probably why.
Yeah.
And Ciampa looked good with that salty gray beard.
Yeah.
Love that look. He looked psychotic. Next, fucking skateboards. Next slide, please, Tam, because we got Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali has formally requested his release. He asked for his release, and guess what? They didn't give him his release. They didn't give it to him. They don't want to, and which is actually pretty abnormal for WWE because they hate negativity in the locker room. They hate it, and it's like no, they really do. Like,
they do.
If you're vocal about it, and you're like, I want to leave. They let you leave, and there've been plenty of wrestlers historically, though. Yeah, even historically, like if you want to leave, they let you go.
Except when AEW launched.
Sure. Except when AEW, but even so, like they let Goldust go immediately. They could have kept it.
There's something about that I want to know more about.
I think it's because
there's a secret there.
They didn't think they could do anything. They didn't think he was going to draw anything, but that was a great opening match. But there's him getting the news that he's not coming back, not going to be released. So we were concerned for Mustafa Ali because they're wasting him. Apparently, he had this big backstage fight with Vince, where Vince was talking to him about how you're too polished, you're too clean cut, you're too perfect. And then Mustafa Ali, coming back at him, just like, well, what do you want me to be?
Seriously.
Am I doing too good of a job for you? Like, it seems pretty frustrating, especially with someone with that much talent. Cool look.
Great
He looks like a video game character.
Yeah. Like the other thing too, he's also like, as a human, he is Muslim. He's a practicing Muslim, and he's very proud of it. And I think that's also really important for people to see. And what I'm curious about though is that you got to sneeze? You want to take a look up?
Keep going.
Look up. He also, I'm so distracted. You sneeze. He also, did you see why they didn't issue him his release? Because they said that he was too. Yeah. What do you think that means? In your opinion, what do you think that means?
I don't know what it means, because knowing WWE, they have some plans because he's a man of Middle Eastern descent. They probably want to use him on their tours overseas, but they haven't used them at all. So it's just like you have this person that a multicultural person that you amazing talent that you start giving stop and start pushes with. He hasn't been on TV in a while or in a significant way. What value is he bringing? Is he only for overseas tours? Then if so, that's not a good value.
Yeah. And the thing about him too is he's such an interesting character. Like, he's young. He's of Middle Eastern descent, but he's young and he's got a beautiful family and he's like a family man. He's a former Chicago police officer. Like, he's all of these things. Yeah. There's like so much. I know.
Him a little less.
Yeah. Well, he got out to be a wrestler, so you got to give him some respect.
Okay. I got to like him a little more again.
Like he has this, like, there's so much to his person that you can utilize that they just never, ever have. The nice dog behind you too. Other side.
It's literally right behind me, right? Can't see. But one who WWE wishes he would take the lead of. Sami Zayn. Next slide, Tam. Sami Zayn has re-signed with the company. Sami Zayn has officially re-signed, and he is going to be with them for the foreseeable future. And he said things like, what did he say? Something about having fun. He's like, I'm having fun, and that's the Sami Zayn way. And honestly, if I were in his shoes, I would stay.
100%.
He's got a good situation. The thing is, when you do have that specific situation in WWE, what, is there another dog behind me?
No, the picture of Knoxville.
Oh yeah, this is Sami Zayn staying in WWE because he's got the situation where he's rubbing with Brock Lesnar. He's rubbing up against Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. He's getting the celebrity match, honestly, which is a big get. Like having the WWE celebrity match, whether you're, Big Show versus Mayweather, usually that's the Big Show spot. Big Show gets the celebrity.
Aki really does.
But like he does, like it's like when you have that special and like that's money. You're getting a WrestleMania match. Yeah. You're getting a WrestleMania match against Johnny Knoxville. That's what I'm seeing.
I hope
you see that.
Oh, I hope so. God, I'd love that. That would be so good.
One I heard, and I heard it on a podcast which will not be named, but they suggest like AEW missed out by not getting Johnny Knoxville because Knoxville versus Darby.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That just makes sense because that's like Darby's whole personality. Like his videos are all Jackass inspired. It's like, it's all just, it's the remnants of what happened after Jackass. So I really think that would have been very interesting,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But So we're, but he's in a good spot. He's in a good spot.
Great. I mean, he's 37, he's like 36, 37. Him and Owens like wrestled in PWG and Ring of Honor and all over the world for years and beat the shit out of themselves for years. So you know what? Like he's with his best friend. They're both making millions of dollars a year. Like if you were working for the WWE and you got a $3 million contract, then they offered me a $1.5 million contract. I'd hang out with you for the next 3 years and just like get beat up by Johnny Knoxville and Brock Lesnar and like cut dumb promos. Yeah, that's great.
And keep in mind, AEW is pretty cramped right now. It's pretty cramped with people. And what happens when you go in there now, you become Adam Cole. Like no offense to Adam Cole, but like he's in this mid-card. He's a mid-carder. He's the mid-card and he's kind of got this storyline that's not really going anywhere. Yeah, he's with his significant other, but I feel like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are the top card, making big money, and they're going to be for the foreseeable future. WWE wants them. You hear those fucking assholes around?
Yeah.
No, but like when they're ready to leave, when they're in their 40s, something like that, AEW will gladly pick them up. That's not going anywhere. That offer, but WWE, vice versa, might not.
Yeah, and I also think too, like Cole is 5, 6, maybe 7 years younger than them. So he's got a lot more time to like have, if you come into AEW, like there is no like kooky fun Sami Zayn room. Like you've got to have a bust ass match like immediately. And maybe Sami doesn't want to do that. I don't know.
Also, Adam Cole was not in the situation that they're in. You know, 100%. Adam Cole was not at the top of the card on the main shows. He was good. He was at risk of being Keith Lee or Karrion Kross.
Absolutely.
You know, he had to choose. We have some comments. John Busman, good for Sami. I think they know they can put him in, him and Owens in any spot and they'll make it work. True.
Absolutely.
True.
Absolutely.
And he's valuable to them. He's valuable TV time. Tony writes, Cole is building up the wins. How dare you say he made where's he on the card? Like, I'm not making the rules. You know, where is he on the card? He's not.
I don't know.
He's not running for the championship. He's not even running for the TNT championship. He's
not yet. But
I'm just saying
he's gonna get through we're building up the Bucks and Kenny versus Adam Cole.
Orange Cassidy is the most mid-card AEW has.
He is like the only mid card.
If you're touching Orange Cassidy, you're in the mid card. That's it. I'm sorry. But yes. So then we got Sami Zayn there. Next slide there, Tam. We got some sad stuff. We got real quick though. Tony writes he's 9-0. So is Scorpio Sky. Bye. Moving on. Conan. Poor Conan.
Yeah.
WCW, AAA. Was he AAA or is he CMLL?
He was big time AAA. Yeah.
Before he was in WCW.
Before WCW, he was like the biggest. That
was AAA. Okay.
Can I tell you a quick side note? This is one of my favorite.
You like that picture of him? I found a really nice picture.
Yeah, that's it. That's him in AAA. That's like primetime Conan. Him, Chris Jericho, and Eddie Guerrero went to the mall in Mexico on Easter one time, and there was a big line for the Easter Bunny. And then when they walked into the mall, all the people turned and saw Conan and they all flocked to Conan. And Conan turned to Chris Jericho and said, I'm more over than the Easter Bunny. And I think that's really funny.
That is funny. But we have to talk about Conan. Poor Conan. He's getting his second kidney transplant. He got one in 2007. And apparently it didn't take. His body rejected it. And he's been taking anti-rejection drugs since. Which are a hassle, and what a pain. Poor Conan. I don't always agree with what he says, but man, like he was a cool NWO member, and he did a lot for the Luchadors, and so we want him to be well, right?
I mean, yeah, he was literally like Rey Mysterio's in Psychosis and La Parka. Like he was all of their gateways into America.
Yeah.
So like if he did nothing else in his career, which is far from the truth, he did that. And he also like introduced LAX and like did LAX at TNA, and he was
your favorite Conan memory.
It's actually so when I became a wrestling fan when I was 1998, he was part of the Wolfpack, and I loved the Wolfpack, but like Sting, Luger, Nash, like they never wrestled because they were like millionaires who never wrestled. But Conan wrestled every week all the time. So Conan was my like weekly representation of the Wolfpack. So I loved Conan. I loved the Tequila Sunrise. I loved his like beginning. I didn't watch the WWF, so I didn't know the New Age Outlaws doing their like call and answer with the like Road Dogs thing with the crowd. I knew Conan's like, Odele, and then he would like make the audience do the whole thing together. That's like, I'll always think fondly of Conan for that reason.
I guess my favorite is when he partied with the Inner Circle a year or two back. That's my favorite.
That's also really good.
No, it's not.
Also, you've got to think.
I wasn't a WCW guy. And when I did look back, I'm like, bless all his contributions. Gotta suck this wrestler.
Yeah, he wasn't the greatest. Yeah, he wasn't the greatest.
That SummerSlam clothesline. Never looked good.
Yeah,
never looked
that's
good.
Fair. That's fair. I also like give him a lot of credit for two things. One, like 4 or 5 years ago now, they wrestled. There was a 6-man tag match in Impact. It was Conan, Santana, and Ortiz against the original LAX, Homicide and Hernandez, and Eddie Kingston. And it was called like a concrete jungle match. And it's just the ring, but with no padding. It's just like the wood planks. Like that was the match. And Conan's got like a busted kidney and like can't, and he's just like taking bumps on these like wooden boards. And then last year he took a spike pile driver from FTR in the middle of the ring. So this guy's all fucked up, but he's still like doing some things.
Love him to death. I think I hit a nerve with Tony. Cole is he's ranked in top 5. Cole is ranked number 1 in the rankings. The rankings. Tony. Do you think the rankings mean anything? Who's the number 1? Aren't FTR the number 1 ranked tag team?
I don't know. I think the Acclaimed is. Well, they They lost though.
Oh yeah. Do you think they claimed are main eventers, or do you think the main eventers aren't decided by the rankings? Main eventers are decided by who people are paying to see. Well,
they can. Yeah, you can also just fuck with the rankings. Like next week, Cole will somehow be number 3, and we won't know how it happened. That's not a real thing, Tony. You're drinking the soup. We got Home Popo Pipa Van Rent. Do not click that link. It's a internet cancer. Do not click that link. It's going to ruin your computer. Or don't type that in. Don't trust that link. Okay, we got to move on. We got this is something fun. WWE Hall of Fame. Could you hit the next tab, Tim? WWE Hall of Famer and WrestleMania participant Donald Trump. Y'all heard of him? He is using the Undertaker's theme song at his rallies when talking about Joe Biden's presidency. Oh my God.
He has the Undertaker's theme song playing as he's talking about what Biden's been doing, which is very funny. But it's also like, I guess WWE is working with him. Like they're allowing. I
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and so they're using. So I just thought that was very interesting that that kind of use is allowed, but that WWE's allowing it. But they are friends with him.
Homegirl works for him.
Yeah, Linda works for
him. I just thought this works for him.
I just thought this was a fun thing. What music would Donald Trump come out to if you had to pick a theme song for him to come out to the ring to?
That's a great question. Johnny B. Bad's theme song at WCW. I don't know.
Well,
Here comes Johnny B. Bad.
I really like the idea of
rap is crap. Probably rap is crap because it's racist.
Sure. I like the idea of Stevie Richards after he left Right to Censor. I'll show you. You'll see. or Hardcore Hollies. How do you like me now?
Also really good. Really good.
Boy. John Buseman's right. Tony, don't you see? Johnny Knoxville is a main event, bro.
Hell yeah.
Tony writes lol. Yeah, Johnny Knoxville is if he's at WrestleMania versus Sami Zayn, that's a co-main event.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's a co-main event.
I hope whatever. Yeah, we'll talk about
what do you have? What do you think?
I was just hoping that Sami Zayn fights Sean Waltman at WrestleMania this year. But
that's a pipe dream.
A boy can dream. Yeah.
Boy can dream. That is a dream. But that would be cool. And now I have my last piece of news, so you could hit that, Tam. The next tab is Malachi Black recently went on the Shaq Wrestling podcast. Shaq not affiliated with Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal. And he ranked some of the best mists ever.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Did you read it?
I saw just the headline.
And it's pretty controversial, I would say. And this is a nice little view of all the mists going on. Wow. You see Buddha, you see Malachi Black with his bullshit black mist that didn't turn Cody. But I don't know who the one in the middle is. Is that?
I'm not sure.
I thought it was Bull for a second, but I don't
remember
her doing.
I don't know.
Well, if someone knows, let us know. Chica Marks writes, the Ringside book taught me that wrestling has always been a part of our politics. Yes, it has. Yeah. It has been. Oh, I love that you're reading Ringside. It's a good book. You ever read it?
Yeah, very good book.
Good book. But so Malachi Black ranked the top for the top mists.
Yeah.
Who would you put at the top 4 mists?
Great Muda to me is number 1. Tajiri, number 2. I think Asuka is in my list as well. Asuka did a very good job with the mist. And
she's the neon green mist.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I don't know. I don't know who the 4th. I mean, I would put him 4th just because it's of relevancy. He's there right now. But who does he?
Okay. So first thing, I do 100% believe that mist should be reserved for Japanese wrestlers.
Sure.
That is a part of their wrestling culture. And I feel like That's appropriation. He had a very interesting list. Very interesting list. So number one, Muda.
Yeah.
Fair.
Gotta
Absolutely.
go with, first to do it, as far as I know.
You know who's next on the list?
Who?
Big Mists. Triple H.
Oh,
What?
I thought I might have seen that because he spits the water up in the air.
Yeah. He spits the water up in the air and he's like, it's an iconic mist. He does Apollo's entrance. I don't know why I'm doing that voice, but he's
Marlon Brando.
No, yeah, but it's a part of his entrance. It's like such a good branding, and you always recognize that with Triple H. But I hate that.
Yeah,
and now I think you could guess
miss.
where the rest of his list is going. Who do you think's number three?
I don't know. I mean, it has to. He's not going to have Tajiri on this list.
No.
What?
Gangrel.
That also doesn't. You're not spitting the mist in people's faces. It doesn't count.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fourth one I can get behind, even though it's controversial.
Yeah.
Carlito.
Because he spit the apple in people's faces. That's true. That's a good four. That's all right. All right. That's fine.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, with that
good.
apple, you get an apple seed in your eye, you're blind, bro.
Yeah. I also like Gangrel over Triple H. That's more iconic to me than Triple H.
Both I feel are canceled. Those are performative.
Yeah,
while it's not a part, like it's not mystic.
Completely
like,
ineffective. You're not intimidating your
sense.
Opponent. Yeah, absolutely.
Carlito's makes a little bit of sense because a mixture of his saliva with the apple does something to the eyes. It just hurts, you know? And not only it doesn't hurt, like it's more of like it's an ego killer, you know, like it really affects your self-esteem during that match.
Yeah.
I
can't
so I really
believe
feel
that.
Isn't that nuts?
Cop out, terrible answer.
Yeah. What a fucking bull dick.
What a WWE suck up still.
What a shit cock. But Chica Barks writes a funny thing. Misting feels so wrong in COVID times. Yep. Literally. 100%. Someone should have a finisher called COVID and spew something in their face. Their gimmick is they're always sick. And they're just like, I've had it forever. And everyone's weird about touching them. And everyone who faces them wears a mask in the ring and he takes it off and spits.
Brutal.
That's actually a really good job.
Real good indie gimmick.
That's the end of the news you can't lose. What fun we had. I really like that misting talk we had.
Yeah. And that, the misting talk actually leads really nicely into what would you book, Red?
What you book?
So, we tried this last week and we tried something a little experimental with Dan Severn's first NWA title reign. A little complicated to book. So I decided to go a little more straightforward this week.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
Because by proxy, Tim, you can go to the what would you book screen. By proxy, that's not the right term. It's long been understood that a top 3, if not top 2, best year in the history of the WWE. 1997 is generally considered to be number 1 because it's the year the tide turned or started turning and creative too. And number 2 is generally 2000. 2000 is thought of as like a really
91 and
year.
2000, you said
1997.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, and 2000. And 2000 has a lot of excellent things, but has a really lackluster WrestleMania. Like not a very good WrestleMania. So now, Red, you're going to have to rebook the main event of WrestleMania 2000.
Oh.
To give you a reminder, Tam, you can go to the next slide, a little background on how we got to the main event of WrestleMania 2000. So the main event is a 4-way dance between Triple H, Mick Foley, Big Show, and The Rock. Background is, as you might remember, at WrestleMania 2000, Cactus Jack and Triple H have probably the best street fight in the history of professional wrestling. Cactus Jack loses, Triple H retains the title. Meanwhile, on the Royal Rumble, The Rock wins, last eliminating the Big Show in like a photo finish. The Rock's feet never touch the ground, but they come very close. And then the next month at No Way Out 2000, as we probably remember, Triple H retires Cactus Jack in the Hell in a Cell match. And on the same card, for the first time in the history of the Royal Rumble, Triple H, The Rock fights the Big Show, with the winner officially being the number 1 contender to go to WrestleMania.
Because The Rock's feet hit the ground in the Royal Rumble, and they did.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Right.
We have to talk about that.
We'll talk about it. Well, that match goes about 8 minutes. Because of Shane McMahon, the Big Show wins, now setting up the Big Show versus Triple H at WrestleMania. And then eventually all the McMahons get involved and each McMahon backs a different opponent. And long story short, Triple H ends up pinning The Rock and taking the title and robbing The Rock of what should have been his big WrestleMania win. It's long since been considered this should have been The Rock's moment.
Yeah.
Because Austin was out. He did the job to Austin the year before. He does the job to Austin the year after. But this should have been his year, and it wasn't. So what would you book? How would you have booked the main event of WrestleMania 2000?
I literally figured it out as we're talking. And I think this makes the most sense. Because the thing is, why was Cactus Jack, why was Foley facing Triple H in the first place? To get him up to a level where he's a WrestleMania main event. That was the purpose of it. He wasn't supposed to be in the main event. He was supposed to get him ready for The Rock. That was his purpose. So you have those matches, and Foley, bless him, retires at Hell in a Cell at No Way Out, and that's the end of Foley. Love him to death. He should not have been entered into it. Now, The Rock storyline, he was supposed to win the Royal Rumble, and he did win the Royal Rumble, but there is documented proof that his feet touched the ground, because on the following night on Raw, they showed video. Big Show showed video. He's just like, your feet touched the ground first, and it happened. It was an accident. It was an accident, but it did happen. So that set up a match where they fought each other. You know what should have happened in that match?
What?
They have a match where they have to decide who won, even though I think Big Show did technically win. I think it should have been awarded to him. I think Big Show should be in the record books as winning the 2000 Royal Rumble, but he has this match with Rock anyway, because like, I could beat The Rock. Of course I could beat The Rock. They have this back and forth match, and it looks like Big Show's going to win. And then out comes Triple H, and the refs knock down something. Triple H beats the shit out of Big Show, smashes him up with a sledgehammer, all this or something like that, helps. Rock gets the win. And now, why do you think he'd do that? Why would he have The Rock win? Because he was robbed by The Rock in a ladder match last year for the Intercontinental title. That was supposed to be his moment. Him going to wrestle, that should be Triple H. All this stuff should have been Triple H, and Rock got it all because you want to know what, The Rock was popular, and he was all this and all that. But he's just like, I want my moment against you. And this is my moment against you, where I have all the McMahons in my corner against you at WrestleMania. So it's Linda, Stephanie, Shane, Vince, all on Triple H's corner against just The Rock. And then it's just Rock and Triple H at WrestleMania, with The Rock going over and getting his big WrestleMania victory. Or I'm even fine with Triple H winning that. They just lost faith in Triple H the month before, where they're like, he's just not ready. So they added Big Show and Foley. Even though Big Show had no place in that match, absolutely no place.
No,
made no sense, and he wasn't over enough.
He wasn't
Nobody
ready.
cared.
Yeah,
Nobody cared. Like, it didn't change anything. It was for the gimmick of having every McMahon there. But if you had just every McMahon literally standing on one side behind Triple H, I could see the poster. It's just like a little picture of The Rock. Then that world graphic that they have, like Rock in front, world graphic, Triple H behind it, and all of the shadows of all the McMahons behind his shoulder. And it's just literally The Rock versus the world.
Yeah, that's the way to go. I completely agree with that. That was great. That was a great what would you book? That's the point of this. The only thing I would add is that maybe you always got to have like a little symmetry. Maybe someone does appear in The Rock's corner, and maybe it's Mick Foley. Just to be there, not in the match, but to be there as a support to stop the McMahons from interfering.
Sure. Want to know what it would be? Oh, man. Mick Foley, then Shawn Michaels, then Stone Cold. Like, Mick Foley comes out, does something, and he gets ejected. Then just to kind of even it out or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or something like that, where like literally there's all the world, like the world's coming down The Rock, and there's just all these people from the McMahon's past.
Yeah,
Foley,
who screwed them?
Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels, even maybe, at that time, and they just come back and make these entrances just to like even the odds, even the score. Because not only would the McMahons all be there, DX would all be over there. Like it's literally this giant group of people just standing outside out of Triple H's corner with The Rock. It's almost like a lumberjack match.
Yeah,
it could feel.
Yeah. I don't love The Rock or Triple H that much. I think they're fine. I'm more of a Stone Cold Foley guy, but it is a shame that The Rock and Triple H did not get to main event that WrestleMania one-on-one. Yeah, because Austin was gone. Yeah, and Triple H was your number one heel, and Rock was your number one baby. It should have just
honestly,
happened.
It would have been fun. I think everyone would have been happy.
Yeah, it would have been a much better WrestleMania overall if that had been your main event, I think.
All right. Well done. Well done.
That was
Very
what
good
would you book?
Book. Excellent job.
And
Excellent
Tam,
job
if you want to
setting
skip over to the next segment, which is what are you watching?
This is the last segment.
Pretty well. We're technically going to do the champion, the LLW champion of the week, but that's quick.
Yeah.
What are you watching?
What am I watching right now? Wrestling wise or anything wise?
I think we can.
You already know I'm real into battle bots. I've been real heavy into battle bots. I've watched some Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, how are you feeling about that?
Honestly, I want to love it so much because I love the idea. I love the cast. I love John Goodman.
Yeah,
He's
fantastic.
I'm big John Goodman. My ideal body type is John Goodman and Flintstones. That's what I want. That's why I'm working out. I'm working out every single day to look like John Goodman in the Flintstones. Hi. So yeah, I watch a lot, but the show is just, I think it's poorly thought out and honestly poorly written. It's got a great concept and they just take away all the stakes. If you watch the first episode, you could get behind it. You could get amped about it.
I've only seen the first episode.
Watch the second episode and you're like, the fuck did they just do? And like they kind of make up for a little bit throughout the first season. And you're kind of okay. Then they took 3 years off because of COVID. And now they're back and it's whack. It's like a completely different show. All the characters are different. Do you want to with first episode of season 2?
I don't know if you spoil it for people who are going to watch it.
No, it's just like the first episode. Like, I guess, I don't think it's a spoiler.
All right, go for it.
This is pretty funny. John Goodman's character is a pro wrestler.
Really?
Yeah. You find out in the first 5 minutes that he used to be a pro wrestler.
That's fantastic. Okay, well now I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, like, to be disappointed. What are you watching right now?
I just started getting into X-Files. Going back and I'm watching the X-Files.
That's actually really good. That's a really good guess.
X-Files.
That's Terry Gilliam, right?
That's
Breaking Bad.
Yes, Vince Gilligan.
Vince Gilligan. So
yeah, it's some other guy. Yeah, he's part of the crew. Yeah.
I have to watch. I started watching that, and then I kind of fell off. But it's a great show. Great show.
It's heavy. Every episode feels like a film. It's like there's a lot that happens, and like I'm not a big sci-fi guy either, but I'm a really big fan of their dynamic, the Fox Mulder, Dana Scully dynamic. I'm a really big fan of that. Yeah, it's good.
Very sexual.
And I think the only other thing to talk about too, as far as what are you watching, is tomorrow night is the World on GCW,
and it's Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble next Saturday. It's on a Saturday this year. So we'll talk about it next Saturday.
Oh, the World. We got Jeff Jarrett versus Effie.
Homicide versus John Moxley. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises. I think we might see the Briscoes versus FTR tomorrow night. That might happen.
The start of it.
I think we're there right now. The Briscoes are set up to challenge. They're defending the GCW titles against a mystery opponent. It's an open challenge. So it could be FTR, and we could see that match tomorrow night, which is crazy. Ruby Soho versus Alley Catch.
Is that Hammerstein?
That's at Hammerstein. Yeah.
And Nick Gage isn't on it.
Nick Gage, I think my like crackpot theory booking, I think he's been hurt, but I think he's going to come back for Hammerstein. I think Moxley's going to Homicide's going to beat Moxley for the GCW title. Nick Gage will come out, challenge that person, and the night will end with Nick Gage as GCW champion. I hope. Fingers crossed.
No, one would be good.
Yeah.
The guy who runs the show.
Yeah.
The guy who runs the show, and he comes out in the middle to thank everyone. Nick Gage comes out and fucking beats the shit out of him, slices his head open with a pizza cutter, and be like, "This is what for not putting on the show," because he's in all the things. And he just said today, he's just like, "I don't know why I'm not booked. I'm ready."
You said that today?
Oh yeah, I just looked today. He's just like,
amazing.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I don't know why I'm not booked. And like, I think it's just a fight towards management. Have him versus GCW because they're trying to they're like, you know what? You're just a little too much. Maybe something like that.
Him cool. And Jeff Jarrett are getting together. The Last Outlaws.
Oh, excellent. We should do the championships.
Yeah. I think the LLW champion of this week is a slam dunk, in my opinion. I think we'll probably agree on this, that it's going to have to be John Moxley. There's no one else who did a better job this week.
John Moxley wins the LLW championship for best overall performer, beating out was it Sean Spears last week?
He beat Sean Spears last week.
Who's
did an admirable job this week.
He's not even in the rankings. He's not even ranked. He's not top 5. He's not Scorpio Sky level in the LLW rankings. But who won best performance? The second tier title.
Oh yeah.
I've got to go with Serena Deeb.
Oh yeah, that works for me. Give that title to Deeb.
I think Deeb is the one because she just beat the shit out of Sky Blue.
Yeah,
she really just nailed it right there. Yeah, I definitely think that she's the one that has to win that.
I agree.
So we got our new champions. We got our new champions. Thank you all so much. We've got our champion, newly crowned, defeated Sean Spears handily, John Moxley, for the championship, the LLW championship. And we've got Serena Deeb earning our secondary title. We haven't named. We're naming these things. We'll figure it out.
The Northeast Wrestling Champion.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching today. This has been the Weekly Wrestle, episode 9. Next week's episode 10, we're going to have to do something special.
Yeah, we're going to do something special.
First time doing anything 10 times in a row. It's first time. Thank you all so much for watching. Please follow us on Twitter at Loser Leaves Pod. Send some emails over from Moa in the mailbag. The mailbag is piling up, so get those emails in fast because when Moa comes on, he's gonna have a lot of splaining to do with those questions in the mailbag. And also follow us on Loser Leaves Wrestling on Instagram and on TikTok. TikTok. We're figuring that one out. Roy, anything else to say before we head out?
Hey, watch GCW tomorrow night. I think it's going to be a great time. And watch the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame tonight if you got the time. I want to see Jerry Lynn get inducted.
Hell yeah. Good for that honorary sweet, really sweet participation awards.
Mark my words.
Hard worker awards.
There is going to be an Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame, a physical location of the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame before there is one for the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's going to be at fucking Johnny Firestorm's house or whatever. I don't know who they are. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye. 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 Bye.
Ole. 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 Ole.